Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Awaz Dost, which means voice of a friend. Today's topic is verses of the Holy Quran related to science, part 1. Now, if you have come to this vlog through my webpage, abdulhaq.com.pk, then there is no need of any introduction. However, if you are new, I think it will help if I introduce myself. So this is my webpage, abdulhaq.com.pk. This is a summary of my administrative career. I will not go in details. This is a summary of my scientific career, and again, I will not go in details. And I have, you can see, supervised 12 PhDs, 17 MPhils, reviewed more than 200 HSC projects, and have been a consultant to an American firm for 2 years. Okay, so besides science, I have worked a lot in various fields. In religious books, I have written Khalasa Tafasir Quran. I took the main famous tafasir and combined those parts of Quran, those parts which are directly related to Quran, and omitted all all detailed discussions to make something which a new reader can understand easily. Then there is Quranic verses, command and guidelines for everyday life. I will make it a topic in a later vlog. Then verses of the Holy Quran related to science. This is a book I recently completed, and this vlog is related to this topic. Oh, I am also well known about regarding my travelogues, and these are all in Urdu. The first one was Main Hazir Hoon. It is about my Hajj travel. Then Nurun Khatola. It was very well received. It has small travelogues of 9 countries. And Vasantar Santar Saab invited me especially for this to his house. And in Japan में 5 साल, I had my PhD and postdoc from Japan. And then Lincoln के देश में, this is about my US travel, Diyar Frank, my Britain travel, and latest is मशरक से उभरते हुए सूरज को जरा देख. That is about my travel to Malaysia. I have also written a biography of my father, Dr. Abdul Hamid, who was a great man in the truest sense. It is named Minar-e-Noor. And then I have a poetry book also, Kalam-e-Sada. And in science, I have written a book on scientists of the golden age of Islam to highlight their achievements. These are the cuttings from the National Press about my travelogues. And this is one student from DC University, Lahore, Ayman Bibi. She had this, she has completed her MS thesis on my travelogue, Janate Arzi Mein Chandroz, which is about Gilgit-Baltistan. And another student from Saraj University of Science and Information Technology, Peshawar, is working for his MPhil collectively making collectively on my all travelogues. So I am also frequently writing different blogs on my web page. So in coming vlogs, I will take these one by one and talk in detail about these topics. So to start with, I have chosen these four topics for my vlogs. First is my experiences and observations in different countries of the world. I have been in Japan for more than 5 years, so I've started from Japan. Then Science and Holy Quran, which is the topic of these vlogs. Then Scientists of the Golden Age of Islam. And finally, the miscellaneous topics, which can include anything of interest. Thank you. So, this was my brief introduction. Now, let us move to the main topic, today's topic. The Holy Quran discusses the scientific facts related to all fields of science. Out of 114 chapters of the Holy Quran, more than 30 chapters have contents related to science. But it must be understood that Holy Quran is not a book of science. It is a book of guidance for the whole mankind. It covers every aspect of this world and universe as a whole and hereafter. The scientific facts are never the main theme of the Holy Quran. They are only mentioned to stress a point or as an example. Yet this narration is so overwhelming and definitive that it leaves the serious reader gasping how it was possible that an illiterate person, that is Hazrat Muhammad, peace be upon him, could reveal it 1400 years ago, living in a society which did not have semblance of scientific knowledge. According to Dr. Zakir Naik, the Holy Quran is a book of science, not science. A few months ago, I completed a book entitled Verses of the Holy Quran Related to Science. It is based on point to point discussion with a scientific mindset and proper references. I spent a lot of time and effort to prepare this as a reference book to spread the word of Islam. I will cover this book in this series of vlogs. The non believers and scholars of some other religions often accuse that the Holy Prophet was conveyed this information by some friends from other parts of the world. The simple fact is that science was at its infancy even in other countries, and there is no way that anybody could have the scientific knowledge revealed in the Holy Quran. The fact that the Arab society in particular and the whole world in general were almost illiterate scientifically addresses another criticism that why the Holy Quran did not give explicit details. The simple answer is that nobody could have understood those details and they would only have caused confusion. However, as the scientific knowledge and understanding is developing, the revelations in the Holy Quran are gaining more and more attention. If we cannot understand some odd statement as yet, it only means that our scientific knowledge has not reached the point where it can be understood and explained. I will give you one recent example. About 10 to 15 years ago, it was usually challenged that the Holy Quran says that the heart controls our emotions and heart is the main organ? Our religious scholars were not able to answer that question. But now, the latest scientific information tells us that heart has its own nervous system and it gives commands independent of the brain. So this topic is, we have just started to explore this topic. So we don't know what we are going to know more on this topic. So what I meant that if we are not understanding something in the Holy Quran as yet, we will understand it in coming years, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years. So here in the coming slides, I will talk about some scientific revelations made by the Holy Quran, which are visualized and confirmed by modern science centuries later. Okay. So first I will briefly summarize the main scientific revelations in the Holy Quran. First, all animals, including birds, live in communities. Second, water was created before the formation of skies and earth. Third, all types of plants have both male and female sexes. Fourth, mountains stabilize the earth. Five, the universe was created by a big bang. That is, the universe expanded from an initial state of high density and temperature with a big explosion or bang. Then all the living creatures are made from water. The sun and moon are moving in their own orbits. Mankind started from clay. Then the development of a human embryo is given in great detail. It is mentioned that there are mountains of hails in the sky. Then the barrier between two water bodies is explained. It is also mentioned that sun is itself a source of light, whereas moon is lit by borrowed light. Then it is mentioned that universe has a limited life span, and description of the water cycle is given, detailed description. It is also mentioned that universe is expanding. And finally, the fingerprints are mentioned, that humans can be identified by the fingerprints. So there is only one explanation, that the Holy Quran is the message of Allah, the creator of the universe. In this series of vlogs, inshallah, I will cover all verses related to scientific facts from the Holy Quran, chapter wise, with detailed description, with references, how modern science confirmed these revelations after many centuries. So let us start with chapter 2, Surah Al-Baqarah. So in verse 28, that is, كيف تكفرون بالله وكنتم أمواتا فأحياكم ثم يميتكم ثم يحييكم ثم إليه ترجعون. It means, its translation is, non-believers, how you can deny Allah? You are lifeless. He granted life to you, and He kills you, and He will put life in you again, and you have to return to Him. So it is mentioned here that you were lifeless. He granted life to you. Allah invites all to think that initially they were made up by various basic ingredients, given a shape that is embryo, but they were lifeless. That is for first 4 months. According to Islam, an embryo is considered living only when it reaches an age of 120 days. That is, it has a shape, it is getting a shape, it can make movements, but we cannot call it living till soul is introduced into it after 120 days. So during the controversy of use of stem cells from a human embryo, which arose about 20 years ago, 25 years ago, and took the world by storm because the stem cells have the capacity to reform almost any organ of the body. So their source is human embryo from fertilized fertilization clinics. So the Christian scholars they said that it is like killing a man, killing a new human being. So due to this, the stem cell research was halted in many countries, even in US, because President George Bush at that time he was a devout Christian and he did not support this uh, research. But the Muslim scholars gave the fatwa that since stem cells were withdrawn after 90 days, but before 120 days of embryonic life, there was no contradiction because according to Islamic concepts, life begins after 120 days. So it doesn't mean that you are taking away a new life. So thank you. I think you have liked this vlog.